Alright, so now we have Godzilla versus King Kong. And my type of movie is more independent, so I'm into composition, dialogue, all the great elements. So I would say this is not necessarily my favorite movie, but if you're into visuals, I would check out this movie because it's very, very cool to see how far we've come with these computer graphics. And you can see this first explosion. I think this is Honolulu where I live. It looks like it, and I'm pretty sure it was filmed here. But you can see this cool little special effects explosion. Nice perspective of just panning past all these buildings and explosions. Just really great cinematography. So wanted to point that out. Definitely aerial perspective in that shot, centered explosion, and then the panning shot is great movement. This one's coming in from the left, creating a diagonal, a sinister diagonal towards the sun. And then this lens flare on the left side here. We're gonna see it on the left. That's aerial perspective as well. The GAC, the greatest area of contrast, it's drawing our eyes here, and that's where the jet is flying, and it ends in the center there. This is a cool shot, nice scale and aerial perspective, greatest area of contrast right here, directing us to the most important part is his face. And we've also got this smaller light here illuminating the body, and then that nice sense of scale, smaller subject with the larger subject. This is a cool shot. Another example of the scale, the small subject with the large subject. Got the aspect of view of the gorilla, King Kong, creating that broke diagonal with his hand there and his finger. You can turn the grid on and see how he's lined up to that vertical center line, and then the broke diagonal there. And I just wanted to show you this old video of how far we've come. This is the old trailer for King Kong versus Godzilla.
King Kong versus Godzilla, heading for their colossal collision, shattering every obstacle that stands between them in the most fantastic rampage of annihilation ever recorded on film.
And you can see how far we've come. It's just really horrible, hilarious special effects. But hey, they've got nice figure ground relationship, aerial perspective, aspect of view. You know, they're using some techniques, even though it looks pretty cheesy. So this is just to show you how far we've come and then show you some better shots here. This is a really cool shot of Godzilla going through the water. Just really unique perspectives, just thinking outside of the box, giving us something fresh, something interesting to look at. And we can see how it's just really visually stunning. Can't stress this enough, just the nice balance that they're creating, and it's all has to do with this vertical center line, the horizontal center line. That's your starting point for great balance in a composition, and unfortunately the rule of thirds kind of confuses people with that. So you can see this just all centered here, the explosion is running right through that boat, and then we've got it coming right at the camera here. Another explosion, aerial perspective, got aspect of view. You see those sharp points coming at us. We know what we're looking at. There's no visual confusion. Another great shot. The jet's coming right at us, shooting missiles. It's a sinister diagonal coming at the Godzilla. Lens flare, aerial perspective. We got aspect of view of the spine of Godzilla. So they're creating visual clarity for us to just create this really stunning shot. Really, really cool. It is pretty funny just how a lot of movies, you got this perfect sunset lighting, you know, in a lot of shots, and it's just always sunset. So I don't know if anybody else picks up on that, but it's pretty funny. So yeah, another unique shot. Got the sinister diagonal of this tail whipping towards the jet. Interesting how they choose the sinister diagonal in some of these, and then the broke in some others. Another explosion, aerial perspective, panning out real quick to see the entire scene. That's considered an establishing shot, where it pans out and shows us exactly where we are and what's going on. Just a really interesting shot right there. The aerial perspective. Got the fire with the water. There's another unique shot where he's popping up onto the boat. Got the lens flare in the background, aerial perspective, unique angles, lots of aerial perspective there. Nice perspective here. We're below Godzilla and we're looking up at him. And then you can see the planes in the air crashing and burning up here. Here comes King Kong. There's an establishing shot, what's going on, where they are. Aerial perspective, got the aspect of view, side profile of the head, spread limbs, got that spine, the backbone coming up. More aerial perspective with those lens flares. Some really cool shots underwater. See how they have the side profile of the Godzilla? So we can identify what's going on there. His spine's lighting up right here, his mouth and his eyes. A technique, these are all things that are considered in the final composition to give us visual clarity and create a stunning shot. Centered composition here, you can see how they're lining up. His arms paralleling this diagonal of the square, locking in here. But you can see how he's just to the left of this vertical center line, and the action, his gazing direction is coming this way. We've got the smoke on the right side here. Just another really cool shot. Figure ground relationship, aspect of view, aerial perspective, nice balance, just really cool. They've got this splattered water effect on the camera, giving us another aerial perspective type of view, adding more depth to the scene. Just really cool. Aspect of view here, the backbone again, and then we've got the aerial perspective. Fire in the foreground and lens flare in the background, lots of smoke. So that's creating nice depth. See that? This is a cool little entry angle here on the sinister diagonal, and then he swings it, hits it, figure ground relationship. We can tell what's going on here. Sinister diagonal coming in, aerial perspective, nice figure ground relationship, creating depth. Got the balance, interest on the right side, this interest on the left side, and then they change the focus. Focus goes from foreground to background. Really cool shots. This fight scene, got that establishing shot, where they are, what's going on, where the camera's just giving us a visual of the entire scene. And then we get a nice Baroque diagonal, aerial perspective, figure ground relationship, boom. And that's Godzilla versus King Kong. That's the final shot on that one.